Hello again, I'm Capricorn, and I wanted to make a follow-up video to the short one that I made yesterday about two pieces of Inkling tech, the bomb hover and bomb slide. So let's first go over what I like to call the bomb hover. I think it was originally called bomb slide, but I don't really think the name suits it, and hover is just a cooler word. So, button mapping wise, there isn't really much you have to change. The only thing you have to know is that this tech relies on your C-stick being set to tilt attack, special, or smash attack. So I'm sorry to like the 4 people on Earth who use jump, shield, or grab for their C-stick. You guys can't do this. So everyone else, you're good. Here's how to actually do the tech. So there's a bit of setup to it, which is why it's a bit of a niche tech. You'll first want to upbeat to ledge, and it's important that you grab the ledge while rising. So let's say, right, like I do upbeat to ledge, and then this, I do upbeat to ledge, and this works fine, right? But if I'm doing it while falling like this, while falling like this, the tech will not work anymore. So, it's important that you are rising with this upbeat. You can't be like this. You can't do that. It has to be while rising. And then once you grab the ledge, you want to do any ledge get up that doesn't make you airborne. So, that'll basically include a normal get up, a attack get up, or I can't play this game today. Or roll. So if you leave the ground at any point, you are basically you're in this state called I'll just call it like hover state for this video. All right. So when you grab the ledge and then you stay on the ground, you're in this state called like hover state, right? And once you leave the ground, once you run off the stage or you jump, you're not in this state anymore. So that's one of the downsides to this tech. You have to stay grounded the whole time. You can do another bomb, you could do your specials, you could do this special, whatever. You could throw opponents, but you cannot leave the floor at any point. If you are hit, or you do leave the floor, you know, it's not a big deal. You just have to redo the setup. So, you know, redo the upbeat to ledge, stay grounded, whatever, and now you're in hover state. So, this next part is where the actual execution starts. So you'll want to, once you've upbeat to ledge, stay grounded, once you have all that set up, what you want to do is run towards the ledge and input C-stick down and special. So, what you're actually doing is you're inputting both C-stick down and special at the same time. And what this does is it overrides, basically, C-stick down is just A plus down, like it's a macro basically. So what you're doing is you're overriding the A input with special. Oh. Like that. Let me put on actually input display. Perfect, okay. So you can see that I'm gonna do a C-stick right now. You can see that it's basically just forward plus A. And if you have like special, for example, then it's just gonna be like forward plus B or something, right? So you're basically just pushing C-stick down and special at the same time while running to the ledge. And then if you did all of that correctly, you should get a little squid that's a little flying squid. Let's see. Oh, right. So this tech is even easier if you have C-stick set to special, because basically I have a tag with C-stick special, but basically you can entirely avoid the special press, like the special input, by just doing C-stick down if you have C-stick set to special. So if you don't, then you just have to do it, you know, the usual way of just C-stick plus special. Alright, so if you're having some issues performing this, there might be a few things you're missing or doing wrong. So let me just recap. You have to do up B while rising, and then stay on the ground. You cannot leave the floor. If you leave the floor, you cannot do this tech anymore. It doesn't matter if you get hit out of it or like, you know, you jump or whatever. You can always redo it. If you're getting a dash attack, so if you're running towards the ledge and doing this, basically, this just means you're doing the C-stick down press or C-stick down input too early. And if you're getting side B, then that just means you're doing the special input too early. You really want to do them both at the same time. Alright, so why is this tech even good to begin with? Why is bomb hover, what I'm calling it, even good? Well, is it even worth going for? That's another thing. I think it does require a bit of setup to perform, but once you do have it, it's really easy to perform. That might be a bit of bias because I am on box, so or leverless, whatever you want to call it. So for me, the C-stick down and special input are very easy to perform. It's still very much doable on like Pro Controller, GameCube controller, Joy-Cons, etc. But you know, you might have to have a shoulder button set to special to make it a bit easier on your hands, if you don't want to like claw grip, that is. And the practicality of it, it's still kind of being experimented on in like a tournament setting. But I've been talking to one of my friends, Seryuu, who's a Northern California Inkling main. He's been trying it out in his sets and seeing some good results with it. It allows Inkling to cover the ledge while also being really far off stage, right? You don't really cover the ledge per se, but like, you know, oop, I didn't do it there. But, you know, you can be all the way out here and then still make it back. So you could be boom, boom, you know, and still make it back. So it's really good for far out recoveries. If you're like, if you edge guard and then they're still not dead, you'd be like, you can double dip basically, and you can also hold it. Something that's actually kind of funny that I found out the other day, thanks to Seryuu, was that you can actually perform this tech while not having enough ink to actually throw out the bomb. So what you could do is like, it looks kind of goofy, but I think it can be used pretty well. Oh, there. See, it's kind of finicky. If you really want to get it consistently, you want to be like right next to the ledge. Like this will guarantee that you get it, right? There's a few more details that I'm missing that I can't really explain off the top of my head, mostly because I don't remember like all of the specific details, but you know. Now, the downside to this, of course, the setup required. You have to up B to ledge, can't jump, whatever. But the only real downside to this is that you are so far off stage too. So let's say, if I can get it right, let's say you're all the way over here and you miss it for some reason, like you miss your edge guard. Now you're all the way over here, right? And your opponent might be already back on the stage already. So basically, it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing at the same time that you're so far off stage. It's good in that you can cover the stage, you can cover off stage pretty far, if that makes sense. But you also might miss, and then now you're being edge guarded or you're being ledge trapped. So it can kind of put you in disadvantage in a way, if you miss, that is. So that's everything I know about this tech, and those are the most important things you need to know, really, to perform this tech. So there might be more details I'm missing. There's obviously some things I'm missing, like, you know, I don't know why this doesn't work for some reason. Oh, never mind. I do know why that works. But you saw in some other examples from earlier that sometimes it didn't work. So there's a few details that I'm missing, but the overall, you know, the most important things you can find from this video. So the original Twitlonger where I found this tech has since then been taken down because Twitter was replaced with X, so that's unfortunate. But I'm sure there's another Inkling out there that's able to add to this video And, you know, worst comes to worst, I'll just pin a comment or something. So, yeah, that's about it for this tech. And then on to the bomb slide tech. Now, for bomb slide, like I said in my short video, this is a tech that I discovered. And it's not every day that you get to discover some useful tech for your character, so let me be proud of something. So this tech doesn't actually require you to change any of your button mapping. So for the 4 people on Earth who use C-Stick Jump Shield Grab, you can rejoice. You don't need to change your shitty controller scheme. So the only barrier to this tech is the execution. So there are some ways to make it easier on yourself, which I'll show in a bit. This is how you perform it. Alright, so that was it just there. And you might have been able to notice it already. So let's go over the explanation on how to do this. So you'll first want to just grab the ledge. You don't want to do it. You don't need to do anything funny. You don't need to, like, wall rising. You don't have to, like, solve a Rubik's cube to get in a special slide state. You just want to grab the ledge any normal way. And once you grab the ledge, you want to let go and double jump, and then drift towards the stage like this. Not like that. You don't want to actually jump from ledge. You don't want to do that. You want to, like, let go and then jump towards the stage like this. And you'll know you got it when you have the little rings, the little white rings when you do a double jump. And then at the right height, you'll want to do a B reverse bomb. So basically, B reverse, if you don't know, it's this little tech that allows you to change the momentum of your special moves. So you can see I'm facing one direction, and then B reverse boom. There's guides. There's guides you can follow. This isn't a B reverse guide. This is just to show off this tech. So you're at the ledge. You drop off, double jump towards the stage, and then at the right height, you want to do a B reverse bomb like this. And you specifically want to aim for the ledge in such a way that you land on stage and then slide off immediately after. And what this allows is this gives you back your double jump. So because we already used it here, right? Once you do the bomb, right, and you slide on and off stage, you get your double jump back. So that's the important part about this tech. The fact that you get your double jump back. It's kind of hard to tell at what height you should do your B reverse, but it's generally around the peak of your jump. So like right here, right? What I like to do though, it is kind of like around the peak of your jump that you have to input bomb. But what I like to do actually is, on PS2 specifically, you can aim for this little dark gray bar here, this little line. This is just a good way of like being able to tell when you should input the B reverse. Now, why is bomb slide good? And I think there's a few reasons why this technique is pretty good. One great quality of this tech is that it requires like pretty much half, maybe even more, of the setup that bomb hover does, right? So instead of having to do all this just to get that, you just grab ledge. That's basically all the requirements to this setup. And you're able to cover a lot of different angles. So what you can do is, just like how I did it right there, you can hold the bomb and have it go out even further so let's say you want to get someone who's really far off stage, but you also want to cover the ledge. That's a really good setup right there. You do the bomb into splatter shot, and then that basically covers, that basically helps you with like tether recoveries, for example. It just helps you cover so many different angles. And you can also do the shortened version. So if you want to go out there if you want to put yourself out there instead, you can do that. And I mean, there's so many hitboxes. Like, just right there were so many hitboxes out. And you make it back. So, like, you can also do this. Like that. And then still make it back on stage. Do a little down air. Sneaky little down air. So the only real downsides to this is, first, obviously, the execution barrier. This is kind of tough to perform consistently, and, you know, with enough practice, you can get it pretty consistently. But the, you know, if we're not looking at, like, the execution barrier, the other downside to this is, say you miss your ledge slide, right? You don't get your double jump back. And that's pretty bad, because especially for this tech, if you think you have your double jump, like, you might end up killing yourself by accident. So let's say I'm like, oh, I'm so good. Oh, I got the. Okay, well now I'm actually being good. But like, let's say you do forward air off stage, thinking that you have your jump, suddenly you don't make it back. So there is a chance that you get yourself killed. But, you know, this can also be avoided with practice, and over time you'll just basically be able to see if you actually did slide off the ledge. Alright, that's pretty much all you need to know about these two techniques. If you have any more questions, or you're having trouble performing this, I'd be more than happy to answer and help you out. Hope you all enjoyed, and now go try bomb hover and bomb slide. Bye bye!